I never thought I'd be planning a funeral at 32. But there I was, standing in front of my husband's casket, when his brother leaned in close and whispered words that made my blood run cold. That whisper changed everything. Let me start from the beginning. My name is Ophelia Hale. Well, it was Ophelia Reeve for 7 beautiful years. My husband Cashin was my everything. We met in college, fell in love over coffee and old movies, and built a life together in Boulder, Colorado. We had 2 perfect children, Milo, who just turned 5, and Iris, my sweet 3-year-old baby girl. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Until one Tuesday morning when Cashin collapsed in our kitchen, heart attack, just like that, at 34 years old. The doctors said it was genetic. His father Augustus had the same condition. But knowing that didn't make it hurt any less. One moment I was pouring orange juice for the kids, and the next moment I was screaming for help while Cashin lay on our kitchen floor. He died before the ambulance even arrived. The next few days were a blur. Family came from everywhere. Cashin's mother Henrietta took over the funeral arrangements. His father Augustus handled the legal stuff. His younger brother Leander flew in from Seattle with his wife Serafina, and then there was Dorian. Dorian Vance, Cashin's older brother. From the moment he walked into my house after Cashin died, something felt wrong. He hugged me too long. His hand stayed on my back too low. When he pulled away, he looked into my eyes and said, "Don't worry, Ophelia, I'll take care of you now." The way he said it made my skin crawl. But I pushed the feeling away. I told myself I was just grieving. I was seeing things that weren't there. I was wrong. The memorial service was held at a beautiful chapel overlooking the mountains. Over 200 people came. Cashin had so many friends. So many people who loved him. I stood at the front with Milo holding my left hand and Iris on other side. She kept asking when Daddy was coming home. I didn't have the heart to explain it again. After the service, everyone gathered at Henrietta and Augustus's house. It was a big place. They had money from Augustus's real estate business. The house was full of people eating, crying, sharing stories about Cashin. I tried to hold it together for the kids. Milo kept asking if he could go play outside. Iris fell asleep on my shoulder. I was exhausted, empty, broken. That's when Dorian found me. I was standing alone in the hallway, trying to get Iris to sleep. When he walked up, he was smiling. Not a sad smile, not a comforting smile, a smirk. He leaned in close. So close I could smell the whiskey on his breath. And he whispered, "Guess you're free now." I froze. "What did you say?" I asked, pulling back. His smirk grew wider. "You heard me, you're free. No more Cashin watching over you, no more rules." My hands started shaking. Iris stirred in my arms. "Get away from me," I said quietly. But he didn't move. Instead, he reached out and touched my cheek. "Come on, Ophelia. You know there was always something between us. Cashin's gone now. We don't have to pretend anymore." I wanted to scream. I wanted to slap him. But we were in a house full of people. And I was holding my sleeping daughter. So I just stepped back and walked away, but I knew this wasn't over. See, what Dorian didn't know was that this wasn't the first time he'd tried something with me. It started about 2 years ago, at a family barbecue at this same house. Cashin was inside helping his dad fix something. I was outside watching the kids play. Dorian came up behind me and put his hands on my waist. "Looking good, Ophelia," he'd said. His breath hot on my neck. I'd pushed him away immediately. "Don't touch me." He'd laughed like it was a joke. "Relax, I'm just messing around." But he wasn't. Over the next 2 years, it happened again and again. Comments about my body. Text messages late at night asking if I was lonely once. He cornered me in the garage during Christmas and tried to kiss me. I told Cashin everything. My husband was furious. He confronted Dorian more than once. They almost got into a fistfight at Easter, but Dorian always denied it. He said I was making things up. He said I was trying to cause problems in the family. Henrietta, Cashin's mother, believed Dorian. She said I was being dramatic. Augustus didn't want to get involved. Only Leander and Serafina believed me, but they lived far away. Cashin was planning to cut Dorian out of our lives completely. But then he died and suddenly I was alone with no one to protect me. The day after the memorial, Dorian showed up at my house. I was feeding the kids lunch when the doorbell rang. Milo ran to answer it before I could stop him. "Uncle Dorian." He shouted happily. My stomach dropped. Dorian walked in like he owned the place. He ruffled Milo's hair and smiled at Iris. "Hey, kiddos, how are you holding up?" "We're okay," Milo said. "Mommy cries a lot though." I wanted to sink into the floor. "Milo, go finish your sandwich," I said firmly. Once the kids were in the kitchen, I turned to Dorian. "What do you want?" He held up a casserole dish. "Mom wanted me to bring this over. She's worried about you. Tell her thank you." "But I'm fine." He set the dish on the table and stepped closer. "You don't look fine, you look tired, stressed. Like you need someone to help you." "I don't need your help." "Are you sure?" He glanced toward the kitchen where the kids were. "Two little ones, all alone, that's a lot for one person. You should let me stay, help out around the house. Keep you company at night." The way he said at night made me feel sick. "Get out," I said, my voice shaking. He laughed. "Come on, Ophelia, stop playing hard to get. You know you need me." I said, "Get out." I shouted. Milo appeared in the doorway, looking scared. "Mommy?" Dorian's whole expression changed. He became the perfect uncle again. "It's okay, buddy. Your mom and I were just talking. I'll see you later, okay?" He winked at me and left. As soon as the door closed, I locked it and burst into tears. That night, after I put the kids to bed, I called my best friend Noelle Caro. Noelle and I met in a book club 3 years ago and became instant friends. She worked as a private investigator for a law firm. She was smart, tough, and didn't take crap from anyone. I told her everything about Dorian. About what he'd been doing for years. About what he said at the memorial. "That son of a bitch," Noelle said. "Ophelia, you need to report him." "Report him for what? Being creepy?" "I have no proof and his whole family thinks I'm a liar." There was a pause. Then Noelle said something that changed everything. "What if we got proof?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, guys like that don't just target one woman. If he's been harassing you, he's probably done it to others. Let me dig around. See what I can find." I hesitated. Part of me just wanted to move on, to grieve my husband in peace. But another part of me, the part that remembered Dorian's smirk at the memorial, wanted revenge. "Okay," I said, "do it." Noelle started digging the next day. She had connections everywhere, cops, lawyers, tech people who could find anything online. Within a week, she called me with news. "Ophelia, you're not going to believe this." I was folding laundry while the kids watched cartoons. "What did you find?" "Dorian's been living a double life, maybe even a triple life." My heart started pounding. "What do you mean?" "He's married, right?" "To that woman, Claire?" "Yeah, they've been married for 8 years. Well, Claire has no idea that Dorian has a girlfriend in Denver. Her name's Jessica. She's 23. He set her up in an apartment and visits her every weekend." I sat down hard on the couch. "Oh my God. But wait, there's more." I found his dating app profiles, plural. He's on 3 different apps using fake names. Meeting women, sleeping with them, ghosting them. I tracked down 4 women in the Boulder area alone who've been with him in the past year. I felt sick. Does Claire know any of this? I doubt it, but here's the really interesting part. Remember how Dorian works at his dad's real estate company? Yeah. Well, I looked into the company finances. Dorian's been skimming money, a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past 5 years. I nearly dropped the phone. Are you serious? Dead serious. He's been creating fake expense reports. Billing for properties that don't exist, pocketing the difference. I'm guessing Augustus has no idea. Oh my God, I whispered. Dorian's been stealing from his own father. And that's not even the worst part. There's more? Noelle took a deep breath. I pulled his text messages, Ophelia. I found texts between Dorian and at least 3 other women where he talks about you. He's been bragging about how he's going to get you now that Cashin's gone. He's been planning this. Rage filled my chest. Hot and fierce and unstoppable. Send me everything, I said. Every single thing you found. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, but I'm not staying quiet anymore. Over the next 2 weeks, Noelle kept digging and I kept gathering evidence. She got bank statements showing the stolen money. Screenshots of Dorian's dating profiles, photos of him with his girlfriend Jessica. Text messages where he called me that hot widow and made bets with his friends about how long it would take to seal the deal. I wanted to vomit reading them, but I kept every single piece of evidence. I organized it all into a folder, printed copies, made backups. Meanwhile, Dorian kept coming around. He showed up at my house at least 3 times a week. Always with some excuse, bringing food from Henrietta, offering to fix something. Wanting to check on the kids, but his real goal was always the same, to get me alone. One afternoon, he came over when the kids were at my sister's house. I'd made the mistake of mentioning it to Henrietta on the phone, and she must have told him when I opened the door. His eyes lit up. No kids today? They'll be back soon, I lied. Mind if I come in? I wanted to talk to you about something. Every instinct told me to say no, but I needed to stay calm. I couldn't let him know I was on to him. Fine. But just for a minute. He followed me into the living room. I stayed standing, arms crossed. What did you want to talk about? He sat on my couch like he lived there. I've been thinking about you a lot, Ophelia, about how hard this must be. Losing Cashin, raising 2 kids alone, money must be tight. I'm managing. Are you? Because I was looking at Cashin's life insurance policy, it's not that much, maybe $50,000 after taxes. That won't last long. My blood went cold. How do you know about his life insurance? Dorian shrugged. Dad mentioned it. We were talking about making sure you're taken care of. He stood up and walked toward me. I backed up until I hit the wall. Here's what I'm thinking, he said. His voice low. You need help. Financial help. Emotional help. I can give you that. All you have to do is stop fighting me. Get away from me. Come on. Ophelia, you're not a kid, you know how the world works. I can make your life so much easier, or... He leaned in close. I can make it much, much harder. That was it. That was the moment I knew I had to act. You're right, I said quietly. I'm not a kid, and I know exactly how the world works. Something in my voice made him pause. What's that supposed to mean? I smiled, a real smile, because for the first time since Cashin died, I felt powerful. It means I'm done being scared of you. His face darkened. You should be scared, without Cashin here to protect you. I can do whatever I want. Really? Is that what you think? That's what I know. I pulled out my phone. Get out of my house, Dorian. He laughed. Or what? You'll call someone. Who? The cops. Your dead husband? No, I said. I'll call your wife. His smile disappeared. What? Get out. For a moment I thought he might do something, hurt me, but he must have seen something in my eyes because he backed off. You're making a big mistake, he said. No, you did. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. I locked it and immediately called Noelle. It's time, I told her. We're doing this. The plan was simple. Augustus and Henrietta were hosting a big family dinner that Sunday. The whole family would be there. Leander and Serafina, Dorian and his wife Claire. Some aunts and uncles, and me with the kids. Henrietta had insisted I come. She said it was important for Milo and Iris to be around family. I'd been planning to skip it, but now it was the perfect opportunity. Noelle helped me prepare. We put together a complete dossier on Dorian, organized, indexed with clear evidence of everything. The affairs, the stolen money, the harassment. We even included testimonies from 2 of the women he'd been seeing, who agreed to go on record after Noelle contacted them. The night before the dinner, I barely slept. Part of me was terrified. What if no one believed me? What if they all sided with Dorian again? What if I ended up looking like the crazy widow trying to cause drama? But then I remembered what Dorian said at Cashin's memorial. Guess you're free now. And I knew I had to do this. Not just for me, but for Cash and for our kids. For every woman Dorian had hurt. Sunday came. I dressed carefully. Nothing too fancy, but not too casual either. I wanted to look strong, confident, in control. Milo and Iris wore their nice clothes. They were excited to see their grandparents. They had no idea what was about to happen. We arrived at 5 o'clock. The house was already full of people. I could smell Henrietta's famous pot roast. The dining room table was set for 15 people. Dorian was already there with Claire. He gave me a smug look when I walked in. Like he'd won something. He had no idea. Dinner started normally. Everyone ate and talked and shared stories. Leander told a funny story about Cashin from when they were kids. Serafina complimented Henrietta's cooking. Augustus talked about a new property deal. Dorian kept staring at me from across the table. I ignored him. Then, as Henrietta was serving dessert, Dorian decided to make his move. You know, he said loudly, I've been thinking a lot about Ophelia and the kids. It must be so hard for them without Cashin. Everyone turned to look at me. We're managing, I said quietly. Are you though? He leaned back in his chair. I mean, Cashin's death was so sudden, so unexpected. Makes you wonder. Wonder what? Augustus asked. Dorian shrugged. Well, heart attack at 34? That's pretty unusual. Unless there was something else going on. Stress maybe, problems at home. My hands clenched under the table. What are you saying, Dorian? Serafina asked, her voice sharp. I'm just saying. Maybe Ophelia knows more about why Cashin died than she's telling us. The room went silent. Henrietta gasped. Dorian! But he kept going. Think about it. Cashin was perfectly healthy. Then suddenly he drops dead? Maybe she was putting pressure on him, maybe that's enough. Leander shouted, standing up. But Dorian held up his hands. I'm just trying to help. Someone needs to ask these questions. Everyone was staring at me now. Some with concern, some with suspicion. Henrietta looked at me with tears in her eyes. Ophelia dear, is there something you need to tell us? And that's when I knew this was the moment. I stood up slowly, my hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. You want to know the truth? I said, yes, Dorian said with that horrible smirk. We all do. I walked to my purse and pulled out the folder. The thick, heavy folder full of evidence. Okay, I said. Let's talk about the truth. I walked back to the table and dropped the folder in front of Dorian. It landed with a thud. What's this? He asked, his smirk fading. That, I said, is you. I opened the folder and started pulling out papers. One by one, slowly, letting each one land on the table. This is a bank statement showing $200,000 you stole from your father's company over the past 5 years. Augustus stood up. What? I pulled out another paper. This is a lease agreement for an apartment in Denver. The one you're paying for your girlfriend Jessica. Claire's face went white. What girlfriend? Another paper. These are screenshots from your dating profiles. 3 different apps, 3 different fake names. All active in the past 6 months. Another. These are text messages between you and your friends where you brag about finally getting that hot widow Ophelia. Dorian's face turned bright red. Those are fake. She made those up. Did I? I pulled out more papers, because these are screenshots of text messages you sent me. At 2 in the morning, asking if I was lonely, telling me what you wanted to do to me. Henrietta gasped. Dorian, no. And this, I said, my voice rising, is a testimony from a woman named Rachel who says you assaulted her at a bar 6 months ago. She never reported it because you threatened her. But she's willing to talk now. I slammed the papers down on the table. I slammed the table. My hands were shaking, my voice cracked, but I kept going. You want to know why Cashin died? He died because he had a genetic heart condition, just like your father. The doctors confirmed it. But you know what made it worse? The stress. The stress of having a brother who sexually harassed his wife for 2 years. The stress of having to constantly defend me to your family because nobody believed me. The stress of planning to cut you out of our lives because you're a predator. Tears were streaming down my face now. Cashin died trying to protect me from you. And the day we buried him, the day we said goodbye to the most beautiful man I've ever known, you leaned in and told me I was free now. Like I was some prize you finally won. I turned to look at Dorian. His smirk was completely gone. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. So yes, Henrietta, I said, my voice breaking. There is something I need to tell you. Your son is a liar. A thief, a cheater, and a predator. And I have proof of all of it. The room was dead silent. Claire was crying. Augustus was staring at the papers spread across the table in shock. Leander had his arm around Serafina. Henrietta was covering her mouth with her hands. Dorian stood up suddenly. This is ridiculous. She's making this up because she's angry. Because she's lonely. Because... Sit down, Augustus said quietly. Dad, she's lying. I said sit down. I'd never heard Augustus yell before. Dorian sat. Augustus picked up the bank statements. His hands were shaking as he looked through them. These account numbers. These are real. This money, Dorian. Did you steal from the company? Dorian's mouth opened and closed. No words came out. Answer me. I borrowed it. I was going to pay it back. Borrowed it? Augustus's face turned red. You stole $200,000 from your own family. Claire stood up crying. Who's Jessica? Who is she? Dorian reached for her. Baby, I can explain. Don't touch me. She yanked away. How long? How long have you been cheating on me? He didn't answer. She looked at me. Is it true? All of it? I nodded. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you. But I didn't know how. Claire grabbed her purse. I'm leaving. Don't follow me. Don't call me. We're done. She walked out. The front door slammed. Dorian tried to stand. I should go after her. You should stay right there, Leander said, his voice like ice. You have a lot of explaining to do. For the next hour, Augustus went through every piece of evidence. The bank statements, the text messages, the dating profiles, everything. Henrietta cried. Augustus got angrier and angrier. Dorian tried to defend himself, but every lie just made it worse. Finally, Augustus stood up. His hands were shaking with rage. You're fired, he said to Dorian. You're out of the company, out of the family business. I'll be contacting our lawyers tomorrow about pressing charges for the money you stole. Dad, please, and Ophelia. Augustus turned to me. His eyes were full of tears. I'm so sorry. I'm so incredibly sorry. You tried to tell us, Cashin tried to tell us. And we didn't listen. We should have protected you. Henrietta rushed over and hugged me. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I started crying again, real, deep sobs. Because for the first time in 2 years, someone finally believed me. Dorian stood up. He looked around the room at all of us, his family, all staring at him with disgust and anger and betrayal. This isn't over, he said to me. You think you've won. But it is over, I said quietly. I'm getting a restraining order tomorrow. If you come near me or my children again, I'll call the police, and trust me. They'll be very interested in Rachel's testimony. His face went pale. He looked like he wanted to say something else. But no words came out. He walked out without another word. The next few weeks were chaos. Claire filed for divorce. Augustus pressed charges for embezzlement. Dorian's girlfriend Jessica came forward with her own story. 2 more women he'd been seeing contacted Noelle. The whole thing became a mess, but it was his mess, not mine. I got my restraining order. Dorian tried to fight it, but with all the evidence, the judge granted it immediately. He wasn't allowed within 500 feet of me or my children. Augustus and Henrietta completely changed. They started helping me with the kids, really helping. Henrietta would come over to watch Milo and Iris so I could have time to grieve. Augustus set up a college fund for both kids and made sure I had everything I needed financially. We owe you this, he told me. We owe Cashin this. We failed both of you. And we're going to spend the rest of our lives making it right. Leander and Serafina moved back to Boulder. We should have been here, Serafina said. We should have done more. That's not happening again. Slowly, carefully, I started to heal. It wasn't easy. I still cried every night. I still missed Cashin so much it physically hurt. The kids still asked when Daddy was coming home. But I wasn't alone anymore and I wasn't scared. One evening, I was putting the kids to bed when Milo asked me a question. Mommy, are you still sad about Daddy? I thought about it. Yes, baby, I'll always be sad about Daddy, but I'm also happy. How can you be both? Because I'm sad that he's gone, but I'm happy that I had him. And I'm happy that I have you and your sister. You two are the best parts of Daddy that I get to keep forever. He hugged me tight. I love you, Mommy. I love you too. Baby, if you're reading this and you're going through something similar, please know this: you are not alone. You are not crazy, you are not making it up. And you deserve to be believed. It took me years to find the courage to stand up to Dorian. Years of being scared, of doubting myself, of wondering if maybe I was the problem. But I wasn't, and if you're being harassed, manipulated, or abused, you're not the problem either. Family is supposed to protect you, not harm you. And if they can't do that, then they don't deserve your silence. Stand up, fight back, be free. The way I finally am.